Again, I think that's a similar question to one that was asked before in terms of you have to start at the ground level. It's not for me to decide what's the best strategy. It's about actually going to those places and speaking to the people who live there. I just bought a house about a block away from Payne Park, and I work with youth. I've worked in high schools in Providence. Kids are kids. All kids deserve to have opportunities. There should be more recreation centers, more programs available to youth. There should be jobs available to youth. We need to expand summer learning loss programs for all of our children in Pawtucket. We need to decide as a city that we want to invest in all of our children. And I don't see that happening. So as a city council member, that's something that I would definitely push for. But again, in terms of deciding what's best for a particular group of people, it's important to involve the people who it is most affecting, speak to them, and then determine what solutions you can come up with together to bring about some sort of change. Thank you.
Thanks. Emmanuel?
So as both a candidate and as a city council person, my approach, again, is focused really on communication. I think, again, we do need to start at the ground level. We do need to engage those populations. We need to engage our neighborhoods and make sure they have spaces to come together and to think of positive solutions for some of their problems. Government doesn't have the answer to everything, folks. And we have been assuming that for many years, and as you can tell by the names reflected as to who's here and who's not, those same people are not willing to engage with you. So let's elect people who are willing to engage with you, who want to listen to you, and who want to problem solve with you. I would also say thank you. Do I get more time for that, by the way? So I would also say that we need to long-term think about how we're building better relationships between government and communities, including public safety. How are we getting more children to see themselves in their police officers and their firefighters? What long-term strategies we're planning to recruit those folks who serve in public safety to live in those neighborhoods and to invest in those neighborhoods so that we can lift up our youth and have a better world for the future generation. I want that baby and my 3 babies who are currently upstairs to live in a city that feels safe, where they can go anywhere. I was just on the other side of town near Barton Street, and I talked to a girl who had lived here her entire life, who was coming back visiting from college, and said she has never felt safe in the 20 years of her existence leaving her house because her street has mattresses, it is dirty, there are prostitutes walking around. We need to do a better job of addressing those real problems that face our populations and not focus so much on subsidizing corporate interests, right? Let's focus on subsidizing the interests of the people who live here, pay taxes, and keep the city running.
Rodney?
Well, as far as Payne Park is concerned, my mother lived a block from Payne Park. She lived there for 25, 30 years, somewhere like that. Little apartments over there. And I could see the crowd of kids gathering out in the street, doing what they please, making noise and all this and that. And you know, I said to my mother, I said, someone's gonna get shot over there. You can see it. So where were the police? When you see something like that happening, you gotta get right in there and break that up. I mean, that, you can't let it fester. You cannot let it fester. I don't know what the police are doing in that situation. I don't know if they're looking to get snitches out of there, or you know, they want to plant somebody in so they can make a drug bust or whatever. You can't let that happen. You can't be reactive. Be proactive, which a lot of the, you know, the council and everybody else, leaders in the city, seem to me very proactive instead of reactive. As i.e. the ceiling's falling down. They said there was a plan there, you know, a couple of years prior, but what happened? It's 8 years later, we're just getting to it. We need to be more proactive, better at it, but first, education is key. We have our share of poverty.
30 seconds.
the key to reducing that poverty is education in good public schools. But we got to give them the resources and the tools to do that. We also need, we got a lot of immigrant parents. I want to get a class for the parents, and they have one, they say, for teaching them English.
10 seconds.
They have to go from ABC 2+2. Otherwise, they got to depend on a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old. We need to educate them. We need education. We need better, more proficient education in this
Thanks,
city.
Rodney. Okay. Melissa?
Okay. So I don't know if you guys know, but Paint Park is like my baby. It's my house. That's where I wake up. That's where I am before I go to sleep. I have to give a lot of respect to the people who have been working in Paint Park for the last 10 years. Because 10 years ago, it was a ghost town, okay? And I'm not gonna just credit myself in the advocacy there. A lot of people jumped on board, and there's been a lot of beautiful things happening on West Ave in Pawtucket. Is there still violence? Yes, there is. We're getting a new park, right? And we're trying to build this beautiful community, and we're trying to get everybody involved in investing in Paint Park. Because when that new park comes up, if those kids don't start seeing some economical growth, if we don't start tying them to jobs and educational opportunities and recreational opportunities, then yeah, we're gonna have a new park and there's gonna still be violence. If we don't address the fact that our city is divided and the West kids are shooting at the East kids and Central Falls is coming into Pawtucket to target us, if we don't zero in on that, then yeah, all this beautiful money that we're investing into these parks is for nothing. We're gonna end up losing kids in this beautiful park, and that's not what I want to see at all. So for me, how we address what's going on in Paint Park is investing in the kids, right? Investing in
30 seconds.
the teenagers who are not going into school, the kids who are bunking, the kids who are think that they are gonna go get their GED, but just in the streets, like making sure we have people who are working with that with the parkway and everybody in it, and that we're doing stuff inside the park, you know?
10
There
seconds.
can't just be one basketball league going on throughout the summer. I'm pretty sure that there's other opportunities and other things that people want to do, and we need to make sure that it's happening there, because if we don't make sure it's happening there, then absolutely nothing's gonna happen there, and you're not gonna like the results of that.
Thanks, Melissa. Okay. Jim?
All right, everybody has touched upon a lot of the issues that I would speak about. Outreach programs, communities reaching out to every community that's in the city of Pawtucket, giving them opportunity, developing that beautiful area of Paint Park on what it's turning into. 20 years ago, dating myself, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a pretty area. Now that park is doing very, very well. Besides what everyone else has spoke about at this table tonight, I promise also, I give you my word, I will be someone that will be in outreach. I will be extending my arm to everyone in the community, not just Paint Park. We have Paint Park, we have the parks over in Slater, in Smithfield Avenue. We have issues throughout the city. One of the things I am also running for this position for is because I work for your Rhode Island 911. So I know there's hot spots in the city where crime gets affected a little bit. Now, in particular for children, the Paint Park issue is definitely something that has to be looked upon, because we get gun violence in that area. That's the highest of the highs when it comes to police. But there is something that wasn't brought up, and something that the city has fallen behind on. A previous administration either won a grant or invested in 10-speed bicycles for the police department. We need outreach programs, opportunities, all that is something that we need, but there is a practicality to making sure our cities are safe, and that is community policing again. We have 10 speeds that are in a shed in the city of Pawtucket. I just played softball with the police versus fire. Your police department has some real athletes on it. They can jump on the 10 speed. I would not be trying to be the chief of the department, but there needs to be a community policing, and they have to get back on the 10 speed. If for anything, it will be a deterrent to the children of the city.